Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Last night we had a nearly 2.5-hour rain delay. Tonight, no such issues. A beautiful night for baseball. Game 2 featuring the Tigers and the Cleveland Indians. On the mound tonight, Anibal Sanchez will take the hill for the Tigers, trying to reverse these numbers. He's been much better as a reliever this year, but tonight he'll make the start for the injured Jordan Zimmerman. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for Game 2 in this series. Anibal Sanchez tonight. Rod will get the call. The injury to Zimmerman gives him yet another chance and an opportunity to come through for this club.
You know what I'd like to see Anibal Sanchez do today, and that's go out there and pitch like he's been pitching in the bullpen. And that's go out in that very first inning, fastballs get up to 94, 95 miles an hour. Don't pitch backwards. Pitch ahead, get ahead of these Indians, and make sure when you leave the first inning, there's a goose egg on the board to allow your offense to somehow wake up against a tough competitor tonight.
Yeah, it seems like every time the Tigers face the Indians, they will face a good pitcher. No different tonight. Carlos Carrasco pitching as well as anybody right now in the American League.
There's no question about that. His stuff is absolutely wipeout. He's got a fastball that gets up to 98, and it's a moving fastball. And does not get barreled up very often, but that's not his best pitch. His best pitch is that slide piece. Look at there, 44% swing and miss rate on his breaking ball. That is third among major league starters, and you have to go back a couple of years since they brought him out of the bullpen when he was pitching there in 2014. Tigers are in for a battle here today. You've got to grind out some at-bats against a guy like this. You can't take big swings. You have to make sure you try to put the ball in play. The only way you're going to have success.
All right, now with the Tigers throwing a right-hander tonight, the Indians have Carlos Santana in the leadoff slot. And Santana quietly has had some big games against the Tigers.
You know, when you look at his overall numbers, his batting average always hovers right around 230, but he plays big boy baseball against the Tigers, and he has done that since he's come to the big leagues. He's also really improved his mental approach with the veterans that they have in Mike Napoli and Juan Uribe. They've really gotten in his ear. Now he has some help in the middle of the batting order. Look at what he's on pace this year as far as the homers are concerned. He's on pace for 36 home runs this year. Ty Van Berkeley, their hitting coach, told me yesterday that he has seen a drastic improvement in the way that Santana goes about his business this year, and he's been awfully good against Detroit in that leadoff spot as well. OPS over 900.
All right, Game 2 in the series right on the way around the corner, and after a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Johnny Kane. Coming up tonight, the Tigers have to find a way to slow down Mike Napoli. He's having a career year in Cleveland. Stay with us. Tigers Tribe, Game 2 next. The Indians, Carlos Carrasco tuning up on the hill for Cleveland tonight. Here is the starting lineup that he will face. It is presented tonight by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for the Tigers, it'll be Kinsler, Maben, and Cabrera in the top 3 spots. Victor Martinez, your DH. Justin Upton is in left. Steven Moya is in right field, leading all rookies in the American League with 5 homers. Aviles, McCann, and Iglesias. No Castellanos tonight with flu-like symptoms. And they are facing Mr. Carlos Carrasco.
Tough assignment tonight for the Tigers hitters. The Tribe have won 8 of the 10 starts this year. Carrasco has made. His fastball gets up to 97. He's got a wipeout slider. He has an outstanding changeup at about 90 miles an hour. And very seldom does he throw you a curveball. Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons in the outfield. They've got Davis, they've got Naquin, they've got Chisenhall, Lindor, Kipnis up the middle, Mike Napoli. He's been killing the Tigers this season. He's at first base, and Jose Ramirez, and he's over at third base, and Yan Gomes is the catcher again this evening.
So the Tigers dropped the opener last night by a score of 5-3. We'll see what they can do tonight against Carlos Carrasco. It'll be Ian Kinsler getting set to lead things off.
And Tigers hitters need to get ready to hit the fastball about 70% of the time on the first pitch, whether you're a left-hander or a right-hander. Carrasco will give you that fastball.
Here is the first pitch of tonight's ball game. It's bounced to the shortstop. Right there is Lindor. And 1 pitch and 1 out tonight. Tigers, courtesy of their loss last night here in Game 1 in the series, falling a game farther behind the Indians. Cleveland will come into play tonight with a 6.5 game lead over the Tigers in the American League Central Division. Meanwhile, KC lost again last night. They are struggling right now. They are 7 games back. And the Tribe continues to lead the way. Here is Cameron Maben. Maben batting in the 2 slot tonight, was 1 for 4 in the opener last evening. And he looks at a strike called on the inside part of the plate.
A couple of years ago, Carrasco was struggling in the rotation, so they put him in the bullpen, and he pitched so well out of the bullpen that when they put him back in the starting rotation, he continued to pitch out of the stretch. He throws every single pitch out of the stretch from the beginning of the game.
That'll get back out of play. 0-2.
Tigers are swinging early and often here tonight against Carrasco, which is what you must do.
A little bit of a problem for the hitters early on here. They are in the shadows, and the pitcher is in the sunlight, at least for the next half hour or so.
Which is going to make it nearly impossible for them to hit that breaking ball that he features.
0-2 on Cameron Maben, just underway here in Cleveland tonight. Game 2 in this series, and Maben looks at a strike called. He got him looking. First strikeout of the ball game for Carrasco.
You see the grip in his glove. This is a changeup, and it's a hard changeup. That pitch came in at 93 miles an hour with some really late life on it. A 93-mile-per-hour changeup. That's kind of unheard of, partner.
You know, every now and then you see one at about 90 or 89. I mean, 90-mile-an-hour changeup's pretty hard. 93. Here is Cabrera, and he steps out of the way of a ball inside.
Miguel has been struggling this year against Tribe pitching. His batting average is .212, and he does not have 1 extra base hit, and he's only driven in 1 run in the 10 games they played this year against Cleveland.
Cabrera 2 out of 4 in the ball game last night, hitting an even .300 on the year.
But if you look at his overall numbers against the Tribe in the career, he's done a lot of damage.
Now the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
For me, that's the biggest difference, I think, with Miguel and Victor struggling this year mightily against Tribe pitching, is the fact that the Tribe pretty much have owned the Tigers because the middle of their batting order hasn't done a whole lot.
Victor batting cleanup again tonight. We mentioned no Castellanos tonight. Nick suffering from flu-like symptoms, so he is out of the lineup. Everybody else behind him moves up 1 spot. There's a shattered bat that rolls foul. Splintered bat is more accurate.
This is exactly what they have done to Miguel the entire year. Good hard fastballs at about 94, 95, inside off the plate, and Miggy really hasn't been able to pick these pitches up. That's just a wicked fastball at 94 miles an hour.
So Cabrera will get a new bat. You might notice the arm sleeve he is wearing. He's got a blue T-shirt on tonight as well with the flag of his native Venezuela. It is Venezuelan Independence Day today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he and Victor were celebrating before the game wearing the T-shirts.
Good for them.
A little armband as well for Miggy. Here's a ball that bounces in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And we celebrated our Independence Day yesterday.
And although we had to wait 2.5 hours to play the game, and they finally got it in. 2-2 the count. Carrasco with a couple of quick outs here in the first. Here's the 2-2. And another ball that's fouled off at home plate. Cabrera this year batting .339 versus right-handed pitching. The splits have been somewhat hard to decipher. Now we know that Mickey hits righties well. That's not the issue. It's the average against lefties, which has been sub 200. That's kind of been hard to figure out. And again the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Cabrera is out of there, and Carrasco with a couple of strikeouts in the first.
Maybe it is.
Well, we'll wait and see. The Tribe tonight will face Anibal Sanchez, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Anibal Sanchez comes in 5-8 overall. He's getting the spot start here tonight in place of Jordan Zimmerman, who was placed on the disabled list yesterday. Anibal just needs to go out and get a win. Pitch very well here tonight and help his team get a W.
Well, Sanchez probably is going to be anywhere out there between 70 and 80 pitches worth. That's what Brad said before the game today. So we'll see how deep he's able to go in this game. Carlos Santana will lead things off, and then Kipnis to follow. Here's the shift they play against Santana. Right-hander on the mound, so Santana leads off tonight. He was batting 5th last night. First one home is in there for a strike, 0-1.
It's a little different shift that they're playing, because usually if Castellanos was in the game, Castellanos would be in right field. It wouldn't be Kinsler, but he leaves Avila's home here. I wonder why.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Different personnel, different way of playing the shift. There is Kinsler. Normally, as Rod said, that is Castellanos. There's the foul back out of play. Starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Santana, then Kipnis, then Lindor. Napoli is cleaning up. Ramirez at third. Chisenhall in right. Bottom 3 of Davis, Naquin, and Gomes. Naquin having a really good rookie season for these Indians.
Yeah, Naquin's in the conversation right now for Rookie of the Year. along with Mazzara, the young right fielder of the Texas Rangers, and of course Michael Fulmer.
Here's the 1-2, and it's low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Naquin for a spell was sent back down to AAA, but he's back up with the big club. And we all know what Fulmer has done this year for the Tigers. He has been lights out.
Naquin also real good defender in center field. He can make some really nice plays out there.
Popped up left side of the infield for Aviles. He will go to the grass. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense. It is presented by Beaumont Health. Left to right in the outfield, you've got Upton, you've got Maben and Moya. You've got Ian Kinsler. He is at second base. He's got a .992 fielding percentage right now, which is a career high. Iglesias, Aviles, and Miguel round out the infield, and James McCann catching Anibal Sanchez here tonight.
Tough loss last night for the Tigers. Brad saw his team battle back a couple of times, and he got some good innings from Dustin Mulliken, who had to come in relief of Daniel Norris. Tigers could not finish the deal, though.
He had pitched Bruce Rondon the day before on the 3rd of July in Tampa in a high leverage situation, and Rondon was good. It was runner on third, less than 2 outs, and Rondon got out of that jam. But yesterday, Rondon was not good in the high leverage situation. It's all part of the maturation process as how you want to use your players, and you still got to learn how to use Rondon out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that's a good point. And certainly with his ability to strike guys out, he will be pitching late in games. It's fouled into the glove of the catcher McCann.
I kind of like the way that Anibal Sanchez is attacking the strike zone here today. Fastball's gotten up to 92. Looks like he's got a really nice breaking ball.
Ooh, Sanchez thought he had a strikeout there, but not so, says Jordan Baker.
Kipnis really has not had a whole lot of success against Anibal Sanchez in his career. That ball is just a touch low.
Here's the 2-2. That's low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the Bernstein advantage, bringing you the pitcher batter matchup. Kipnis against Sanchez. You were talking about this, Rod. The number is not very good.
9 strikeouts in the 30 at bats for Kipnis against Anibal.
That'll go foul down the right field line. 3-2 on Jason Kipnis. Francisco Lindor waiting on deck. What a sparkling evening tonight here in Cleveland. The lights are on, the sun is shining, the skies are clear, and that's the good news. It was rainy and overcast all of yesterday and last night.
They say tomorrow's going to be one of the hotter days of the year here in Cleveland. Supposed to get up to about 90 with some humidity.
I'll tell you what, these are 2 teams right now that really want to see the All-Star break with all the extra inning games and the late games that the Indians have played, and the Tigers, of course, playing 11 leading into the break.
That's right.
You get those hot day games, you got to try and grind through them. And he got him, strike 3. Kipnis thought he had a walk, and Jordan Baker rings him up. 2 gone.
The pitch may have been a shade outside. We'll get a look at the replay and we'll be able to determine that. But if you're Kipnis, it is probably too close to take with 2 strikes. Last night, Mike Everett, who's down at third base, he's the umpire down there today. He had a huge strike zone last night, and apparently Jordan Baker might have a pretty big strike zone tonight too.
Huge is a conservative way of describing it. There's a strike on Lindor. 299 for Lindor. Drove in a couple of runs with 2 sacrifice flies last night. He has a home run against Sanchez. That came the last time they faced him in Detroit. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He'll be an all-star this year. And that's just how well Lindor has played from the beginning of the season up until this point. The batting average at 299. Hits for power. Drives in runs. Steals bases.
High fly ball. Shallow right field. Moya coming in. And that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Anibal Sanchez. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectation of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. And by Chrysler. No score as we go to the top of number 2 here in Cleveland. The Tigers-Indians, game 2 in the series. Carrasco back to work, and a ball dives low to Victor Martinez.
Wow, Victor Martinez got the Venezuelan spikes going tonight, too.
Martinez, Upton, and Moya. Boy, those are fancy.
Oh,
it's a whole lot of yellow.
Look out, Victor.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. High pop up. Middle of the infield. It'll be Lindor, I think. Nope. Here comes the third baseman Ramirez calling him off.
Look how Lindor's looking at him. He's still staring at him.
He didn't care for that.
Lindor's the captain of the infield. When the shortstop calls for anything in the infield, it's his ball. But how about Jose Ramirez? He must be feeling pretty good these days.
Here is Justin Upton with 1 out. Still giving him the business.
I guess when you've won 12 games in a row at home, you can have a little fun.
Upton takes strike 1. Justin batting in the 5 slot today, and he has hit safely in 5 of his last 6. The average at 229. One ball and 1 strike.
Nothing that Carrasco throws is straight. The fastball goes anywhere from 90 up to 98 miles an hour. They all move. Two-seam action. He doesn't cut the ball. He's got the slider that's obviously an outstanding pitch, about 88 miles an hour. And the changeup, we've already told you, he throws that anywhere from 86 to 93 miles an hour.
It'll pop up back a second, shallow right, going to drop between Kipnis and Chisenhall, and that's a bloop single for Upton. Tigers have their first base hit of the ball game. Here are the field conditions tonight, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scott's Company. It is 80 degrees at game time here.
Very little humidity. Very pleasant evening.
And I guess if you needed one word for the forecast, it would be beautiful. 1 on and 1 out for Steven Moya. Moya homered to the ball game last night and now has 5 on the season. He'll drive that one foul.
Moya appears to be one of those guys that once he gets going, as far as the home run ball is concerned, he can hit him in bunches.
Well, he's got 5 in his last 10 games. And when you combine his numbers with AAA in the big leagues, he has hit 18 this year.
And the ball that he hit last night, I didn't even think that he really squared it up.
Here's the 0-1. A little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike on Moya.
And most of the fastballs so far that Carrasco has featured have been anywhere from 91 to 94 miles an hour. He hasn't gotten much above that.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Checked it low and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. They want the appeal, but they won't get it.
You know, Mario, they had so much success with Carrasco back in 2014, putting him in the bullpen and then bringing him back to the rotation. They did it again this year with Trevor Bauer. He started in the bullpen this year, and then because of an injury to Carrasco, he came back to the rotation, and now he's pitching better than he's ever pitched in his life.
Well, and that's something Terry Francona told Bauer this year when he sent him to the bullpen. He said, look, it worked for Carrasco. Go down there and get yourself straightened out. And so maybe that's the way of getting it done.
And Bauer kind of rediscovered his fastball while he was pitching out of the bullpen at the beginning of this year. The same thing that happened a few years ago when Carrasco was in the bullpen.
Well, Bauer got a shot this year about that injury you talked about. That was on the 24th of April, and that was at Comerica Park, a hamstring injury. And Bauer has never looked back. That's inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Steven Moya.
Might be a little bit too risky here to start Upton at first base. You never know what Brad's going to do. But Moya, he does swing and miss. and it would be way too risky. Yan Gomes has an outstanding throwing arm. Upton would be out at second base on a strikeout.
I would vote against starting the runner here. And he is holding a swing and a foul. Just got a piece of it. Moya playing in right field again here tonight. Since his recall from AAA, batting .312, so he has come up and come back to the big leagues and has shown that he belongs. Of course, he had that really good defensive play as well in the Tampa series. That tumbling play out in right field on Sunday, which saved a run. And again, the 3-2 swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that was nasty. 2 gone.
The slider is an incredible pitch for Carrasco. Every time he throws the pitch, it's usually a swing and miss. At least half the time. 44% swing and miss on his slider this year. Actually, you can go back a little further than that. You can go all the way back to 2014.
Here is the former Indian, Mike Aviles, who stands in with 2 outs. Aviles played here last year. That's in for a strike, 0-1. Castellanos out of the lineup tonight, so Aviles gets the late call inserted into the lineup, batting 7th and playing third base. .218 batting average this year for Aviles. Bouncing ball back up the middle, right past the pitcher. It'll hit the bag, and everybody is safe. Upton will hold at second base. The Tigers get a break there on a ball that hit the bag at second. It'll be a base hit for Mike Aviles.
It's also a ball that Carrasco probably should have caught, but he was off balance once he delivered the ball, and that let the ball get up the middle to trickle right off of the bag.
So a pair of hits for the Tigers here in the second. That'll give James McCann an opportunity. Tigers last night were 0 for 8 with men in scoring position, so they've got an early chance here this evening.
As you can imagine, Carrasco likes to go to his slider when runners are in scoring position.
McCann last night was 1 for 3. Ball 1 outside on McCann. Carrasco now at 25 in the pitch count.
Throwing a lot of strikes. Of the 25 pitches, he's hit the strike zone with 17 of them. He's in attack mode.
High towering fly ball to center. That'll chase Naquin back. Still going edge of the warning track to make the catch. Some Tigers threaten but do not score. A couple of singles, 2 men left. Starters as announced by the American League. In the AL, you've got Trout in center field, flanked by Bradley and Betts, and some pretty good infielders as well.
You agree with all those?
Altuve, yes. Bogarts, yes. Machado, yes. Hosmer, yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can make a case certainly for all of them. I mean, somebody's always going to get snubbed.
Yeah, I think they got it right this year. Betts having a good year. Bradley also having a superior year. It's no all-star game if Trout's not there. Machado's been superior. Jose Altuve is going to get some MVP votes.
And Big Papi, the DH, having a great year. That game to be played in San Diego, July 12th on Fox. Here is Mike Napoli to get things started. And Napoli looks at a ball outside from Sanchez.
Did you say that game was on Fox?
That was on Fox.
Just checking.
Only on Fox. Napoli at 237, 3 for 10 career against Sanchez. That ball straightens him up.
Sanchez career-wise is not all that bad against the Tribe, but this year they've had his number. He is 0-3 against them this year with an elevated earned run average.
And Napoli looks at a strike on the outer edge, 2-1.
That's a good fastball there, 90 miles an hour. Located beautifully on the black outside. You can't get hurt with that location.
Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. 2-2. Napoli had the game winner last night, a 2-run shot off Rondon, and that made it 5-3. The Indians would hold on to win that game.
You can't pitch Napoli down. You got to go up with a fastball to get him out.
Swing and a miss, and Napoli is retired. Second strikeout for Anibal Sanchez. One gone here in the second.
Looks like Sanchez has brought his A game here today. Fastballs are good, great location, and a couple of changeups to finish off Napoli.
Here's a look at the National League All-Stars. Boy, these Chicago Cubs fans got out and voted, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Pretty good outfield. Harper, Fowler, and Cespedes, and a bunch of Cubs on the infield.
Buster Posey is the catcher.
That sails outside, 1-0.
Should be an exciting night of baseball out on the West Coast.
Ramirez at 299. He's driven in 32 this year. Foul tip into the glove. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramirez right now enjoying a 9-game hitting streak. A couple of hits in last night's game, including a double.
Ramirez was a career minor league 300 hitter. And so it's really nothing new, the fact that he's come to the big leagues in his second year and starting to have some success.
That one just missed, according to Jordan Baker, and the count goes to 3-1. Chisenhall waiting on deck. No score. We're in the second here in Cleveland. And he walked him, so the Indians have their first base runner of the ball game. 1-1. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Here's the right fielder, Chisenhall. 298 this season for Lonnie, 5 home runs. And the first one is high, and Sanchez falls behind. Chisenhall did not start last night, with the lefty Daniel Norris starting the game for the Tigers. Lonnie came on later in the game, had 1 at bat, was 0 for 1.
I guess the strain to the oblique of Norris is not all that severe. I mean, it landed him on the disabled list, but I guess it's just a grade 1 strain, they said.
And according to the skipper today, you're looking at probably 10 days to 2 weeks for Norris. That's it. Could have been worse. Strike on the outer edge, 1-1. Norris had rebounded so nicely after that Rockies start to the ball game last night. There's Daniel.
You know, he's got to be bumming about the fact that he's landed on the disabled list again, with the same injury that landed him on the disabled list last year.
Ground ball right side, base hit out of the reach of Kinsler. To third base goes Ramirez. Now he'll put on the brakes and quickly gets back to second. First hit of the ball game for the Indians. They have something going now here in the second.
And a couple of steps and a dive for Ian Kinsler, but not able to knock it down. And Jose Ramirez, who was running from first base, he thought about entertaining the thought of going to third and then thought better of it.
So here is Rajai Davis, the first threat of the evening for the Indians. Davis had a good night last night, was 1 for 3, scored a couple of runs. Solid year this year for the former Tiger. Rajai's home runs are up this year. He's hit a total of 9 this season already.
I don't think Rajai was expecting to get as much playing time this year as he's already gotten.
I think you're right. But he's been a big part of their success this season. Hit for the cycle on Saturday in Toronto.
He already has more RBIs this year than he had all of last year for the Tigers. 30 RBI last year for Rajai. He already has 31.
314 this year with men in scoring position. Trying to make sure Ramirez doesn't get too far off the bag. Kinsler holding him close at second base. Here's the 1-0. Drill down the left field line. Fair ball. It's going to go to the corner. That'll get 1 run in. Chisenhall coming to third. They're going to stop in there. And Rajai Davis has a double and an RBI for Cleveland.
Rajai Davis just continues to have a really nice year for his new team. That is now his 32nd RBI. It's a 1-0 count. It's a fastball. And Sanchez misses with his location. That ball is up in the strike zone. And Rajai Davis absolutely turns on it. Aviles, the third baseman, had no shot at catching that ball.
"32nd RBI for Davis, who, as we mentioned, came in batting .314 with men in scoring position. He gets it done again. Here's Tyler Naquin. Naquin did not play last night against the lefty. There's the ball low.
And Tigers are conceding the run on the infield. And with the exception of anything hit down toward third base. Anything to short, anything to second, anything to first will plate the second run of the inning for the Tribe.
Ground ball right side. Kinsler thought about coming home. The run will score. An RBI for Naquin. That makes it 2-0 Indians. Chisenhall scores on the play. '18th RBI for Naquin. 2 gone now for Yan Gomes. Sanchez was 3 for 3 in first pitch strikes in the first inning, but he's gone first pitch balls on all 5 batters in this inning. There's a ground ball short, ranging right rather, is Iglesias, and he'll throw him out. So Gomes is gone. That'll retire the side. Indians score first tonight. They grab a pair of runs. The third MGM Grand. Detroit brings you the scouting report on Carrasco and his swing and miss percentage on breaking balls.
That would be his slider, and that is since 2014. And very few people have been able to hit the Carrasco slider.
He will face Jose Iglesias to get it started here in the third. Iggy last night bounced into 2 double plays, but in both of them hit the ball very sharply. And of course, it included the game-ending double play, which had to be reviewed. How about that for an ending last night? We're kind of waiting around to see if the game was over or if it was still alive. And they called him out, and the game was over.
We've seen some other games in Major League Baseball in that way, on a call that either gets overturned or a call that stays, but that was the first time for Tigers.
2-0 on Iglesias, the number 9 batter, hitting .256. And there's a strike call, 2-1.
That's one thing about Carrasco. And once he falls behind you, about 70–75% of the time, you're going to get a fastball.
It'll pop up right side of the infield. Kipnis to the grass, and Iglesias is out, 1 away. It'll bring up Ian Kinsler, and it brings us to the Chevy Silverado most dependable player. Ranks among second basemen for Ian Kinsler. And you see in all of these categories, he's in the top 3. And right now, more runs scored than any second baseman in the American League. He is 0 for 1 with the ground out. He bounced down on the first pitch of the ball game tonight, and he looks at a strike. Kinsler now 0 for 5 in the series. Ian shoots one on the ground to second. Easy hop there for Kipnis. 2 gone. And now Carrasco will face Cameron Maybin. Carrasco had that complete game shutout against the Tigers on June 25th. That was at Comerica Park. It was awfully impressive to watch. Unfortunately, he gave up just 4 hits, punched out 7 in that game.
And then his next start partner, he went into Toronto in very hostile environment and gave up just 1 run to that offense in 8 innings.
Yeah, so right through the teeth of a couple of pretty good offenses. Cameron Maybin now with 2 outs. Ball 1. I know that Salazar is, I don't know, you think he's considered their ace? They've got Kluber, but I think Salazar probably has better numbers, but this guy might be the best of all.
Salazar is considered to be their ace, and judging by the numbers, his earned run average, that guy there, Kluber's already won a Cy Young, but no one is pitching any better than this guy right now. And stuff-wise, he takes a back seat to nobody. He is a number 1 starter that's pitching as a number 3 on this team. That's how deep the Cleveland Indians rotation is right now.
29 years old, out of Venezuela, 6'4", 212, Carlos Carrasco.
He came to the Tribe, I believe, back in 2000, well, a few years ago in the Cliff Lee deal. Don't get me to lying about the year, because I wasn't quite sure.
Swing and a miss, roughly.
I almost dropped a 2009 on him. I'm thinking that's the year, but I didn't, I wasn't sure.
Well, some injuries along the way have delayed his arrival as a frontline pitcher, but here he is. Maybin waits on a 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cameron.
And here comes that wipeout slider. Or on occasion, he will throw you a curveball in this count to the right-handers, not too much to the left-handers. Doesn't throw the curveball very much, but on occasion he will do it. They're going to change up maybe.
Just got a piece of it.
How about that? I was right.
Oh, you were right.
I was right. I started to say it and I said, no, let me start the line here because I wasn't sure.
See, every now and then, Rod, the mind does not desert you. Indians have had some really good starting pitching they've traded over the years. CC, Cliff Lee. Here's the 2-2 and a grounder foul.
And I think they traded both of those guys the year after they won the Cy Young, when their stock was obviously very high.
Really high. There is fellow Venezuelan Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck. Cleveland on top 2-0. We're in the third. 2 out, nobody on. Maven swings and strikes out. Carrasco strikes him out for the second time tonight.
There's that slide piece.
And it's his 4th overall. At least it appears that Miguel Cabrera is the only Tiger selected to be a reserve.
No Ian Kinsler. Wow, kind of surprised by that. But, you know, we talked about the fact that Cano was going to make the team. There's no Pedroia on the team. Altuve's on the squad as well. Every team has to be represented. And all those guys are having good years.
So there you have it. Right now, Cabrera is the lone Detroit Tiger on that list. Here come the Indians now. As we go to the third, it'll be Santana, Kipnis, and Lindor. And there's Lindor
getting a congratulations hug.
We just found out that he'll be an all-star. Santana popped up in his first at bat. He's over 1. Tribe got a couple of runs in the second. And a ball missing outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sanchez with the 1-1. Annibal's last win as a starting pitcher, get this, was on April the 28th against Oakland.
That long ago?
It's amazing to me. Well, obviously, he's been put in the bullpen. He's gotten a couple of wins out of the pen. But as a starter, April 28th. In there, a strike called. Santana didn't like it. 2-2.
And Brad wouldn't even commit to whether Sanchez would get the ball 5 days from now in Toronto.
Yeah, that's still pretty much up in the air.
It'll have a lot to do with how well he pitches here this evening.
Way outside. Fill the count now. 3-2 on Santana. Well, the Indians touched him up for 2 home runs in the first inning. The last time they faced him, Santana and Lindor hit solo shots in the 6-0 Indians win.
Off-speed pitch here might get him a strikeout.
Swing and a miss.
Change piece. Strikeout. Sweet.
Time for a game break now. Here's Mickey York.
Now at the break for the Tribe, number 22,
All right, Mick, thanks.
David Price, he's scuffling a little bit this year too, man. He's giving up some big numbers. He's giving up some big numbers, man.
Ball 1 to Kipnis.
And he's giving up a lot of early numbers. Not getting off to good starts.
Price had an ERA just under 5 at the start of tonight's play, which is un-David Price-like. 2-0 meanwhile on Kipnis.
Here's the changeup that he threw to Santana to get strike 3. That's that butterfly changeup, and that thing is darting away from these left-handers here tonight. It's an outstanding pitch.
Now he's gone 3-0. Well, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast that Sanchez probably in the area of 70 to 80 pitches tonight. We'll have to wait and see. And right now he's at 43. Kipnis fanned in the first inning. He'll take on 3-0. Lindor waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Kipnis right now second on the team in RBIs and hits. Everyday second baseman for the Indians, an all-star last year. Swing and a miss, down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the third. How about those National League reserves? See how the NL will fill out their team. Paul Goldschmidt is on there from the Diamondbacks. Lucroy and Ramos at the catching position. Anybody else stick out to you?
Yeah, Nolan Arenado obviously is an all-star. Will Myers kind of sticks out.
Yeah.
Having a really good year out in San Diego. Corey Seager.
That Seager family is pretty good.
They got some skills.
Little chopper hit to the right side, and Sanchez will handle it himself. It's a 1 unassisted, 3 in the books here in Cleveland. 2-0 Tribe. Just been announced for the All-Star game, and the Tigers do not have anybody on this list either. However, Wade Davis is on the disabled list, so I don't know, maybe Frankie Rodriguez has an opportunity.
Alex Colomé also on the disabled list, so that might open the door for him.
Those lists are always very fluid, with guys unable to play because either of injury or taking the day off. Here's a high pop-up, shallow left field for Lindor. And Cabrera retired on 1 pitch. 1 gone here in the 4th. Well, Ian Kinsler apparently still has a chance to make it. He is part of the final vote Vote Kinsler by going to tigers.com/vote or text A1 to 89269. Voting will end on Friday at 4 p.m. So we got to get Ian as part of the All-Star game this year. At least there's a shot now.
Well, come on, Tigers fans. You got to vote for Ian. He deserves to be in San Diego.
Victor Martinez looks at a strike. Tigers, Rod, really have not had a whole lot of solid contact in this game against Carrasco.
None. He's a tough at bat. That much we do know.
1 ball, 1 strike on Martinez.
When you throw as hard as he throws and everything is moving and balls are going east to west in the strike zone, depending on whether it's a changeup or whether it's his slider.
Ground ball right into the shift. It's going to be gobbled up by Kipnis. 2 gone. Another base hit taken away by the shift for Victor Martinez. That'll bring up Justin Upton with the bases empty. Tigers got a couple of hits in the second, and it was Upton that got it started with a base hit, but they stranded a pair of runners. And then Cleveland scored 2 in the bottom of the second. RBI double by Rajay Davis. RBI ground out by Tyler Naquin. Upton this year is on pace for just 16 home runs. Last year he built to 26. There's the chopper to third. Easy play there for Ramirez. And that'll end the inning. Tigers go 1-2-3 against Carrasco.
Indians already with a 2-run lead, and it was Napoli's big blow last night that proved to be the deciding blow. Now, he got a fastball at about 97 miles an hour at the bottom of the zone, thrown by Bruce Rondon, and boy, did he hit it a country mile. Halfway up in the left field stands.
So Napoli will get it started here. It'll be Napoli, Ramirez, and Chisenhall facing the right-hander Sanchez, who retired the Indians 1-2-3 in the third. That'll straighten him up.
You want to pitch Napoli upstairs in the strike zone, but that's obviously too high.
Napoli struck out his first time up, and he checks one foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Sanchez, velocity-wise, has not gotten up to 94, 95 here this evening, as he has done pitching out of the bullpen. But his secondary pitches have been a lot crisper tonight. The breaking ball has been much better. The changeup's been fading down and into the righties and away from the lefties.
The question is, and always has been, at least this season, is how deep can Sanchez get into a ball game? Because it seems every time, the third time the lineup comes through, it's been an issue.
Well, he might be out of there tonight by the third time through because his pitch count isn't built up yet. But that was an issue for him at the beginning of the season for sure.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'd like to see him go upstairs with the fastball here to Napoli. Is on a pace for career high and homers and RBIs.
Here's the 2-2. Napoli takes high, 3-2. He'll be followed by Ramirez and Chisenhall, 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup for the Tribe. That is 5 3-ball counts now for Sanchez. Drilled foul. Just foul down the left field line.
That is Napoli's nitro zone. That is a 3-2 changeup, and Napoli's looking for a fastball. And if you're looking for a fastball and you get something down, it just speeds your bat up as a hitter. Take a look at him jump all over this change piece.
Aside from pure numbers, there are other things that Napoli will bring to a ball club and to a locker room. And for Mike, postseason experience is among those things on that list. He has been to the postseason 7 of the last 9 years. And there is something to be said about that type of late season experience. And he's hanging tough here. 3-2, the count stays. This will be a 9-pitch at bat. 8 of them already. And he walked in, ball 4. Leadoff man is on for the Indians.
Let's take a look at how Sanchez attacked Napoli, who eventually walked. He tried to go upstairs several times with the fastball, but he just continued to miss with that fastball upstairs. He threw some good breaking balls, some good changeups. Eventually, Napoli with a good enough eye to get the base on balls to lead off the inning.
Here is Jose Ramirez. This is how the Indians got their threat going in the second, with a walk to Ramirez. A walk to Napoli starts off the 4th. Indians coming in, we're at a +78 in run differential this year. And that was even after losing 17-1 a couple of days ago in Toronto.
They have 50 wins this year. 10 of those, as we've well told you, have come against the Tigers. That is 20% of their win total.
Yeah.
20% of the win totals come against the Tigers this year.
He just cannot find a way to crack the code, at least not to this point. There's a ground ball, base hit, right field. Napoli will hit the bag at second. He's going to try for third. And the throw not in time. It'll be a single for Jose Ramirez, and the Indians now with runners at first and third.
They are just playing with supreme confidence against the Tigers, and that cat right there, Ramirez, is having a really good year. But how about Napoli? As soon as this ball got into the outfield, he didn't even look over to third base. He was thinking about getting to third. They're playing the game with a lot of energy.
Very aggressive move there by Napoli, and he gets in there easily. Here is Lonnie Chisenhall. Third hit of the ball game for the Tribe. And Chisenhall has one of them, a single back in the second. chased back. 10 steals this year for Ramirez. He's been caught 4 times. Line foul. 0-1. Chisenhall has been good against right-handed pitching this year. 306.
They've got a decent crowd here tonight. Not the sellout that they had last night, but they've got quite a few people here in attendance, starting to get behind their team.
John Adams trying to stir him up, banging that drum out in left field.
He's been beating them drums loud the last couple days too.
We're telling you last night that the Indians average about 16,000 per game, which is dead last in baseball. Here's John Adams. The Tigers, by contrast, average over 30,000 per home game. The 0-1. Line drive, right field. It's going to get down and roll to the corner. 1 run is in. Ramirez coming to third. They're going to stop in there. It'll be a double and an RBI for Chisenhall, and it's now 3-0 Cleveland.
Location, location, location. That's a ball that's off the plate inside, and somehow Chisenhall able to pull his hands close enough to his body to not only barrel the ball up, but also keep that ball fair.
So it's 3-0 in favor of Cleveland. Now we check in with Trevor Thompson with more on Anibal Sanchez.
Well, late after last night's game was over, Mario, I had a chance to talk with Anibal Sanchez about getting this surprise start after Jordan Zimmerman went on the disabled list. And Anibal told me he was not bothered at all by getting late notice that he would be starting here today. Not concerned at all about the fact that he had not been starting lately, had not been stretched out. He said he was ready for whatever today gave him as far as pitch count goes, innings go. He was just going to go as long as he could and give this team all he had here this evening. So we'll see how much more that is. Back up to you.
All right, Trev, thanks. Well, you know, the Sanchez certainly was going to take the ball anyhow, anyway to get back in the rotation. Rajai Davis pops this one in the air to right field. Moya backing up. Runner will tag at third. Ramirez will come in to score. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, and both runners move up. It is now 4-0 Cleveland. Davis gets his second RBI in this ball game.
That is a very successful at bat. And for Rajai Davis, he hits the ball deep enough the opposite way to not only does he get the RBI, but he gets Chisenhall over to third base with now just 1 out, and the Tigers will be forced into playing the infield in the way Carrasco is pitching for the Cleveland Indians. They cannot fall behind any further.
Tyler Naquin bounced one in with a ground out in his first at bat. Infield coming in for Detroit. 4 runs on 4 hits now for the Indians. Naquin fouls one away, 0-1. Naquin had a pretty good road trip for them, a 10-hit road trip. First round pick back in 2012 out of Texas A&M. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike, and now the Tiger bullpen starting to work for the first time. That is Buck Farmer, who was called up after the ball game last night. Swing and a miss. McCann does a good job of smothering it. 1-2 on Naquin. Sanchez now up to 65 pitches. We got Gomes waiting on deck, the number 9 hitter. Here's the breakdown on Sanchez. That'll bounce in well in front of the plate, and McCann just got his chest protector in front of it. 2-2. Both of the Indians' rallies here tonight, starting with a walk. And both walks have come around to score. Got him, strike 3. Naquin is out of there. Big strikeout for Sanchez.
And Naquin was either looking for a slider or a changeup, and Sanchez threw him a fastball that was right down the middle at 91 miles an hour. Naquin just watched it go by.
Well, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Strikeout total now sits at 5 for Sanchez. One more out to get as Gomes stands in. He'll take ball 1. Gomes grounded out. That was back in the second. He had a runner at third with 2 outs in that at bat as well. Off the end of the bat, 1 ball, 1 strike. Gomes came into this game batting just a .130 against righties. That's it. Much better against lefties, over 300. Sanchez trying to keep this a 4-0 game. Ball high, 2-1.
It's a dangerous count here. And for Anibal Sanchez, if he's going to throw Gomes a fastball. Gomes has good career numbers against Sanchez. So he sees the ball pretty good against Anibal. Might be better off throwing something off speed. Looks like they're going to go with the fastball.
Lifted toward right, slicing away from Moya. Still on the move, and it's going to be foul, just out of his reach. Two and two on Gomes.
Not a whole lot of foul territory as you get down that right field line. And that wall comes on you quickly. Not much at all.
Leadoff walk to Napoli, singled by Ramirez. Chisenhall doubled in a run, and then a sac fly by Rajai Davis. 2 more runs in. Inside, fill the count now, 3-2 on Gomes. Santana lurking the top of the order. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Gomes is out of there, and 6 Sanchez strikeouts. However, the Indians get 2 more runs at the end of 4. They lead by 4. Pitching staff is going to be absolutely loaded when you look at some of the names on this list. I mean, Arrieta, you got Bumgarner, you got Syndergaard, you got Kershaw, who is inactive right now, but Johnny Cueto and Strasburg, man.
And Bumgarner. It's a really good staff. American League hitters are going to have their work cut out for them that night for sure.
All-Star game in San Diego, July 12th. Do you know where it's on?
It's on Fox.
Yep, absolutely. I knew you'd be right there.
You know it.
Well, here come the Tigers now. Carrasco back to the hill, and he delivers a ball to Steven Moya.
And I'll be tuned in, too. I'll miss the All-Star games. Home run derby last year was one of the best that I'd seen in a long, long time.
I think they've done a really good job of streamlining the home run hitting contest to make it, well, for lack of a better term, more watchable.
Yeah, and not so drawn out, long and drawn out.
Moya waiting on a 2-0, and he looks at a strike in the outside corner. Stevens struck out back in the second. Carrasco has had 2 straight 1-2-3 innings. Tribe on top 4-0 as we play in the 5th. Outside 3-1. Moya, then Aviles, and then McCann. And he walked him. Leadoff man on here in the 5th.
Here's the Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window, and you'll see a lot of these in the home run hitting contest next Monday in San Diego. That was the 5th home run of the season for Moya. 5th homer in his last 10 games.
First walk of the ball game now for the right-hander Carrasco. Aviles had a single off the bag at second in his first at bat. Indians had 4 runs on 4 hits. The Tigers no runs, 2 hits.
Carrasco is 10 of 16 so far tonight in first pitch strikes. The majority of those have been fastballs.
Sliced out of play, and the count is 0-2.
This guy is just in attack mode the entire night. Is Carrasco.
Just got a piece, and he banged that one off Gomes. Count stays 0-2.
Carrasco admitted that after coming off the disabled list where he strained his hamstring against the Tigers earlier this year, it took him about 5 or 6 starts before he really got a good feel for that slider again. This is now his 7th start since coming off the disabled list, and everything seems to be working really well for him this evening.
Aviles battling.
Yeah, I don't know how Aviles is making contact with that slider, but he is.
Tigers so far have had just 1 man in scoring position in this game. That was Upton back in the 2nd. They are trying to get to Carrasco after the leadoff walk here in the 5th. Just off the plate. Gomes held it there, but Carrasco did not get the call.
And it looked like it may have been a shade off the plate.
Good call. So says Mr. Fox Tracks. Missed again. 2-2.
95 with that fastball there by Carrasco. That's about this top fastball so far tonight.
Aviles last year played in 98 games with the Indians. And that one missed again. Now it's 3-2.
It is now three ball counts this evening for Carrasco.
And And he walked him. Back-to-back walks here to start things off in the 5th.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. But they have not really been able to barrel up Carrasco, but he's made some mistakes in the strike zone in this inning. He's walked a couple. They have runners on first and second, but lots of lazy pop-ups. And then when they're not popping up, they're hitting the ball on the ground. He's really crowding everybody inside, mostly Miggy. See, Carrasco was a little upset at the home plate umpire, I
believe you're right.
And Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, had to come out and kind of settle him down a little bit. Now here comes big Jordan Baker.
Jordan Baker's a big boy.
Yeah, just in case you got something to say to me.
Here I am.
Here I am.
Apparently no one had anything to say to Jordan.
No, they didn't. Look at him.
Well, the Tigers with a golden opportunity here now. Back-to-back walks. Moya and Avilos, and James McCann will step in.
Did you see how he walked all the way around the mound and got right over there?
All the way around. Everybody had a shot at him if they wanted to take it. Here he comes.
They just walk in the front of the mound. He walked all the way around right in to get in the ear of Carrasco. You got something to say?
He's huge. Lindor comes up to his knees. Here's McCann. And James looks at a strike, 0-1. 96 on that fastball.
So apparently he's putting his foot a little heavier on the gas pedal here in this inning. He can get all the way up to 98 when he wants to.
Fly ball to center field for McCann, who squared him up pretty good back in the 2nd, but drilled it to dead center. That's low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carrasco operating against the bottom of the Tigers lineup here in the 5th, but so far 2 walks. Drilled toward left field. Ball hit pretty well, going back to the track in front of the wall to make the catch. Davis runs it down and the runners retreat.
Here is our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. And for most of the game, Carrasco was right around 92 to 93. But in this particular inning, he's gotten all the way up to 96 with his fastball.
And that'll bring up the shortstop, Jose Iglesias. Iglesias with a pop-up back in the 3rd. McCann has hit a couple of balls hard tonight. 1 deep to center, 1 to left. Strike 1 on Iglesias.
The batting average this year against Carrasco with runners in scoring position is just 138. So obviously these situations don't bother him on most nights. Good contact hitter at the plate in Iglesias, though.
And he'll shoot one to the right side. There's Kipnis. He'll go to 2nd 1. Now they're going to go to 3rd. And Moya's going to be tagged out. And the Indians will wiggle out of the jam.
That is an unconventional double play there to end the top half of the 5th inning.
The old 4-5 double play. Actually, it's going to go 4-6-5. How about that? Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
second base. He thought Kipnis was going to catch this ball. That's why he went back to second base here. But how about Lindor here? He knew that Moya did not get a good break. He wasn't going to get Iglesias, and he turned quickly to throw that ball to third base, and Moya was out by about 10 feet. But a real heads-up play by the youngster, Lindor.
And for a guy that runs so well, Iglesias, that is, he has hit into 3 double plays in this series now. Score stays 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Santana, Kipnis, and Lindor, the top 3 for the Tribe.
How about Carrasco pitching out of that jam? He walks the first 2 and then gets out of it with a fly ball to left and an unconventional double play ball.
Santana is 0 for 2. He looks at a strike, 1-1. Sanchez right now at 75, which is around the area that Brad was talking about today. Maybe a little longer, between 70 and 80, but really Sanchez has not pitched all that badly in this game. I know he's given up 4 runs. He was struck out 6. But a couple of big walks have hurt him. Both of them have come around to score. Here's the 1-2. Here's that shift on Santana. That one missed, and so Sanchez now has the count run 3-2. Jason Kipnis waiting on deck. Sanchez now has gone to 7 3-ball counts, and he lost him. Another walk. Ball 4 to start the bottom of the 5th. 3rd walk of the ball game. Fans get a ticket to see the Tigers play the Royals July 15th at 7:10 p.m. plus a 16-ounce beer for as low as $19. It's the Friday night party package. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER.
First game after the All-Star break.
Yeah, and the Royals are coming in. They're limping right now.
Yeah, they're not playing good baseball. And Wade Davis, their closer, has gone on the disabled list with a forearm strain.
So was once a really deep bullpen is getting tested now. Kipnis looks at a strike on the outer edge. Tiger bullpen starting to stir again, and there is Buck Farmer, who was up earlier in the game.
And Kipnis beefing with the home plate umpire Jordan Baker. Did not like that first pitch that was called a strike. Anibal Sanchez already owns Kipnis, and Kipnis knows that. And he probably told the home plate umpire, this guy does not need any help to get me out.
Little chopper right side of the infield. Kinsler will go to second. They'll get the out there, and that's it. Fielder's choice, 1 away. They'll bring up Francisco Lindor. Announced as an All-Star just about an hour ago. Lindor is certainly deserving. He's 0 for 2 in this game.
Kind of surprised they didn't announce that. Put it up on the big board here so he can get some love from the home fans. Lindor, a very bright young man, and a franchise player here in Cleveland these days. I was downstairs yesterday talking to Ty Van Berkeley, the hitting coach, around the cage, and Lindor happened to be hitting at the time, and we had a nice conversation. Very bright young man, very appreciative of everything that he has been given. You know what his Twitter handle is?
I do not.
Lindor 12 BC. The BC stands for be consistent. He said his dad told him when he's 7 years old, whatever you do in life, just be consistent. And he has taken that and he has it on his Twitter handle now.
Sure it's not be cool?
Well, he's cool too now. It could go for be cool, but it's be consistent. Already has his own foundation, already starting to give back at the tender age of 23.
a native of Caguas, Puerto Rico.
He wears number 12. Grew up idolizing a former Cleveland Indian. That would be Roberto Alomar, who wore number 12 and was an outstanding second baseman. Switch hitter.
1-1 on Lindor.
Robbie Alomar in the Hall of Fame. He and Omar Vizquel, boy, they teamed up to be one of the best double play combos in that decade.
You wore number 12, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, that was your number.
Sure did.
Here's Vizquel, who always has a lot of folks in Cleveland come up and have a chat with him before the game. Now the 1-1. Drill to right field. Moya slides, can't get it, and it goes to the wall. Santana coming to third. It's finally dug up. They're going to try and score him. Here's the throw to the plate. Santana is saved at home plate. Kipnis rather. Kipnis racing around third, comes around and just beats the tag of James McCann. We'll see if the Tigers want to look at this. What happened there, Moya?
Not sure what happened to Moya. It looked like a catchable ball. I don't think the lights came into play here, but he just didn't catch it. Moya does not look, it has not looked comfortable in the outfield since he came here. Ball should have been caught. Ball went over his glove.
He just flat out missed it.
And it looked like an outstanding slide there by Kipnis. He looked safe. Tremendous slide by Kipnis.
Just ahead of the throw. When Kinsler got that ball, it looked like he was going to be a dead duck.
Lindor just continues to torch Tigers pitching this year.
It's a double and an RBI. Takes third on the throw, and the infield coming in now 5-0 Cleveland.
Looked like Napoli, who was in the on-deck circle, was kind of helping Kipnis and telling him which direction to slide, which is really your job when you're in the on-deck circle and there's a close play at home plate. You have to be in a position where that base runner can see you so you can help him and tell him which way to slide when he gets toward home plate.
Lindor gets his 42nd RBI. That one will dive low, and the count on Napoli now 3-0.
And Napoli swung at a 3-0 pitch yesterday, so he definitely has the green light if he wants to swing at it.
Trying to get the run in from third with one out, and he's going to swing, and he found his straight back.
He doesn't want to walk, does he?
No, he doesn't. Sanchez wasn't going to lay one in there either.
He wants that RBI.
Five runs on 5 hits now for the Indians. And he'll take the walk. Second walk in the inning for Sanchez, the 4th of the ball game, and here comes Brad. It's going to be it for Sanchez, whose pitch count has gone a little bit above where we thought it might end up being. And that's going to be it for Sanchez. So he'll depart with the score 5-0. Wallside windows pitching change. Indians have runners at first and third. We'll be back. is a sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Here is the move that happened, announced earlier today with Daniel Norris on the disabled list with that oblique problem. Buck Farmer has been recalled from AAA Toledo, and Buck now being called upon here out of the Tigers bullpen.
Already the 5th time that Buck Farmer has been recalled from the minor leagues.
And so his mission now is runners at first and third, only 1 out. And Jose Ramirez is up there with a walk, a single, and 2 runs scored.
And Buck's numbers look better in the big leagues than they do down in Toledo this year. He has not pitched all that well down in Toledo.
Farmer has had to battle the, coming to the big leagues, pitching out of the bullpen, going to the minor leagues, pitching in the rotation, and that back and forth sometimes is a little hard to get used to. But in his opportunities here, he has pitched pretty well.
Ramirez is their best RBI guy, at least as far as the batting average is concerned.
Well, he's also .373 with men in scoring position.
Yes, indeed.
Lindor, the runner at third base. Napoli is at first. Another run in for the Indians here in the 5th. And again, it all started with a walk.
And Farmer looking for the ground ball here.
Outside. 3 balls, 1 strike with Chisenhall waiting on deck. There you go. Only Orlando and Crisp have been better with runners in scoring position. Ground ball right side. Kinsler flags it down, has only 1 play, and they get the out at first base, but an RBI for Ramirez. And it's 6-0 Cleveland. And all Sanchez can do now is look on here. That run will be his. And the guy at second base also his property. 33rd RBI for Jose Ramirez. Here is Chisenhall with a man at second and 2 outs. Ball 1. Indians doing their scoring in 2s tonight. 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. Drill toward right center field, going to get down. It'll split the gap and go to the wall. Napoli will score. Chisenhall will go to second. It's an RBI double and a 7-0 Cleveland lead. That is his 3rd hit of the night.
His 2nd extra base hit, his 2nd RBI. Looked like a fastball that was right down the middle at 92 miles an hour, and Chisenhall jumped all over it. These Indians, man.
Well, they're being economical tonight. 7 runs on just 6 hits. And Sanchez didn't help his cause by the walks. Here is Rajai Davis. Book is complete now on Sanchez. He'll be charged with all 7. Rajai swings and misses.
Sanchez walked 3 in the game. Excuse me, he walked 4 in the game, and 3 of the 4 walks came around to score.
Davis, a couple of RBIs in this game. Ball 1, 1-1 the count on Davis. RBI double in the 2nd, a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning. One and 2. Rajai said strike. Oh, wow. Yep. 1-2 the count on Davis, who still can't believe it. Low and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Naquin waiting on deck. Here is Farmer's 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That'll end the inning, but it's a good inning for the Indians. They scored 3 times. They knocked Sanchez out of the game, and it's 7-0. Will get things started. He is part of the All-Star final vote this year, and here are some of the guys he'll go up against, namely Evan Longoria, Dustin Pedroia, and George Springer.
Michael Saunders also having a really solid season for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And so the final vote is ongoing for the final roster spot. Get out and vote for Kinsler and get the Tigers 2 All-Stars this year. Miggy right now is the only guy wearing a Tigers uniform on the All-Star team. Carrasco goes to work and delivers a strike to Kinsler. Top of the order coming up, Ian, then Maben, and then Miguel Cabrera. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Carrasco started the 5th by walking Moya and Aviles, but he got out of the jam with a fly ball and a double play. Tigers in the series now are 0 for 11 with men in scoring position.
In the last 14 innings that Carrasco has pitched against them, too, they have not scored a run against him. He shut him out at Comerica Park just last week.
That'll miss high, and he's gone behind now 3-1.
And we're talking about pretty good offense, too. And when he pitched against the Tigers are playing some good baseball at Comerica Park. Yes, they had lost the game to the Cleveland Indians. Before that, they had just swept. Who was it, the Seattle Mariners?
Right.
And the offense was clicking.
There's another walk. Leadoff man on here in the 6th. Narns brings you the big money encounter this evening. Active win streaks. The Indians have 10 straight against the Tigers. Giants have beaten the Padres 9 straight. These are against divisional opponents, and Tigers just can't seem to find a way to beat the Indians this year. Here's Cameron Maben.
Not only are the Tigers having a difficult time of beating the Cleveland Indians, but so are the Kansas City Royals and the Chicago White Sox. The Tribe, Mario, they are 23-6 against Kansas City, the Tigers, and the White Sox this year. They are wearing out the division.
And that's why they are in first place as we speak. Came in up 6.5 on the Tigers, 7 up on the Royals. Ooh, a strike in the inside corner. Maben not so sure about that. 0-2. There's been a lot of jawboning going on with Jordan Baker tonight. That was inside.
Yes, it was.
Here's the 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. There they are, the standings as we speak right now. Chicago 7.5 back. And he got him, strike 3. Maben took 1 too many. Another strikeout for Carrasco. Just caught the strike zone, and I mean barely. 1 away. Here is Cabrera. Five strikeouts now for Carrasco. Miggy takes the ball outside. I was reading that Carrasco is a big-time memorabilia collector, and some of his prized possessions are a pair of spikes from Derek Jeter, and also a jersey, batting gloves, and a bat from Miguel Cabrera. And Miggy gave those items to Carrasco several years ago, 2013. Here's the 1-0. It's low, 2-0.
I'm sure Miggy has quite a few jerseys he signed for players in the big leagues. Usually when a player the caliber of Miguel Cabrera goes to any ballpark, the final day of the series, that's when all the players, they send over all the balls, they send over all the jerseys, and then they want Miguel to sign that stuff on the final day. Justin Verlander, same thing. Whenever you have, superstars on your team.
The funny thing is, though, on the day in which Cabrera gave Carrasco all of that loot, there's the ball inside. Miggy homered against him.
Was that the day he struck him out 3 times and then Miggy homered against him?
Oh, I'm not sure that was the day, but that was back in 2013. My memory's not that good, but he did homer against him.
I think that was Salazar anyway.
Oh, that was Salazar. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Salazar. That was here. Here's the 3-0, and Cabrera looks at a strike, 3-1.
Well, you look at Miggy's ranks and what he does to Cleveland and what he has done to Cleveland in his career. And really nobody has been better. A minimum of 50 games, but not so much this year.
Roller toward third base. He'll go to second and safe there.
They're calling it a fair ball.
Oh my goodness, and Cabrera never left the batter's box. And here comes Brad Ausmus. Kinsler was safe at second, but Cabrera is called out at first base. He never left the batter's box. Miggy saying that ball hit his foot.
That ball clearly went off Miguel's shin.
This will be a good look. I don't know. You think so?
Well, the last look for sure, it looked like he hit off his shin. That first look.
The umpires are going to convene now and see if anybody had a better look at it. Although I can't imagine somebody 90 feet away would have a better look than Jordan Baker.
And I can't imagine Miguel Cabrera not running out a ground ball.
Right.
That is not part of his MO.
That's true.
He plays the game the right way.
Oh, yeah, right there you can tell.
I mean, the ball changed directions.
So they're going to try and sort it out. They're calling him out. Oh, my goodness. Brad might lose it on this.
Well, he's got to get there. Miggy's going to get kicked out of the game.
Miggy's going to lose it, too. But I don't blame the big fella.
Well, somebody's got to go get Miggy.
Oh, that's just not right. That is just not right. But apparently nobody had a clear look at that, and Cabrera is really upset. The crew chief is Mike Everett, the third base umpire. And yeah, there he goes. Cabrera's been ejected from the game, and you knew this was about to happen.
Well, Miggy was kicked out by the first base umpire.
Yeah, that's Tim Timmons. So Brad could not get out there and save Cabrera. He's been ejected, and I just can't blame Miggy. He is just upset. Indians get a huge break. Not only do they get the out, but Cabrera's thrown out of the game.
Now that look right there clearly looks like to me that it hits his leg. And if you look, Marion, if you look at the direction the ball is going when it hits his bat,
exactly,
it's going right down toward his leg. So if it missed his leg totally, that ball would have been in their dugout.
You can see Cabrera flex a little bit too. I mean, he's not going to not run on a ground ball.
I've never seen Miggy not run on a ball that he hit fair.
So there are 2 outs now with Kinsler at second. Cabrera has been ejected from the game. And now here is Victor Martinez. 5-4-3 is the putout of Cabrera.
Apparently that's not a reviewable play.
Apparently not. I mean, if you're the Indians, you can't get a bigger break. Not only to get the out, but you get Cabrera ejected. No balls, 1 strike on Victor Martinez. A pop up and a ground out. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball toward the shift. Kipnis diving, can't get it. It'll get by him. That'll score a run. Kinsler comes in, and it's 7-1. So the Tigers are on the board, and the RBI hit by Victor Martinez. And for Victor, his 51st RBI of the year, right through the shift. That'll bring up Justin Upton. Only the 3rd hit for the Tigers in this game, and that's their first hit with men in scoring position in the series. Upton looks at a strike, 0-1. Upton had a single in the second, grounded out in the 4th. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball toward right. Slicing to the corner, and that is a foul ball. 0-2. It's the first run the Tigers have scored on Carrasco in the last 2 starts. Andrew Romine now has picked up a first baseman's glove, so he'll get that one ready. It appears he'll take over for Miguel. Oh, 0-2. Ground ball left side. Lindor diving stop. His throw is in time. What a play by Lindor.
That young man is cold-blooded.
He's an all-star for a reason, folks.
Cold-blooded.
An example number 1 right there. Sprawling play.
our video review, and we're guessing that it's this second one up here, and where it has fair or foul and trap plays in the infield. Obviously, that's a fair or a foul ball in the infield that is not reviewable.
Meanwhile, Romine will take over at first base in place of Cabrera. So the Tigers now with a big bat out of their lineup as they try and mount a comeback tonight. They're down 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And that ball hit in the air to deep right field. Moya going back east to the track, to the wall, and that ball is gone.
These Indians are rolling, man. They have won 12 games in this ballpark. They're looking for a baker's dozen here tonight, and they're looking pretty good.
Tyler Naquin has just hit his 7th home run of the season. The Tigers finally get a run, and just like that, the Indians are able to answer.
And there was nothing cheap about that home run that Naquin just hit. He got all of his breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone and flipped it over the 375 sign. A little hot dog, too, is Naquin.
Eight-1 ball game. Indians have the lead. That is 7 home runs now for Naquin, all after being recalled on June the 3rd when Marlon Byrd was suspended. That's popped up first base side for Romine, calling. 1 gone. Indians now have 7 runs, or make it 8 runs in this game on 7 hits. And Carrasco has done the rest. He's allowed just 3 hits to the Tigers. One away. Here is Santana. Ooh, look out. Santana hits the deck.
That was a slider at 87. And fans don't know, but it was not a fastball.
Yeah, but you could send a message with a breaking pitch, can't you?
You can.
Whoop, down he goes. That'll tip low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Santana has a walk in this game. Pop-up strikeout his other 2 times up. Here's the 2-0. High and off the glove of McCann. 3-0. Santana pretty good at drawing walks. He has 48 now, which is good for 5th in the American League. Part of the reason that Terry Francona decided to lead him off at some times this year. In fact, at some points, his first leadoff at bat came against the Tigers, and he homered. There's another walk. Time for a game break now. We check in with Mickey York. All right, Mick, the Royals continue to struggle. They would lose their 3rd straight if they can't come back in that one, and would be just 3 over the 500 mark. There's a strike on Jason Kipnis. Scored a run after reaching out a fielder's choice in the 5th. But Farmers 1-1. 2-1 on Kipnis. Sanchez was lifted in the 5th inning, was charged with 7 of the 8 runs that the Indians have scored in this game. Hannibal walked a total of 4 in the contest before Brad came out and got him. 89 pitches tonight.
And Buck not throwing a lot of strikes so far. And 25 pitches total for Buck. And he has missed the strike zone with 14 of those.
Another walk. Boy, Tigers pitching now has issued a ton of walks tonight, 6 of them. Well, the Tigers host the Royals Saturday, July 16th at 7:10 p.m. Brandon Inge will take part in a pregame Q&A session as part of the season-long celebration of the 10th anniversary of the 06 AL champs. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Brandon Inge comes back to Motor City. Rich Doobie is out there to talk now with Buck Farmer, who was called up after the ball game last night. And Farmer pressed into duty today. Now Francisco Lindor will step in. He's already had an RBI double tonight in a spectacular diving play at short. Ball 1. .95 hits on the year for Lindor, leads the Indians.
It's a good fastball there by Farmer at 93. And it tied up the youngster Lindor.
One and 2 the count. Tigers have had their stretches this year in which they've played some pretty good baseball. In fact, they've had winning streaks of 5 games and 4 games heading into a series against these Indians, and then all of a sudden they get swept. The Indians have halted their streaks.
Yeah, Tigers no issues with any other teams in baseball for the most part. They are 44-29 against everybody not named the Cleveland Indians.
Avila's giving chase on this one. It's about a row back.
15 games over 500 against the rest of baseball. And Terry Francona and his right-hand man, Brad Mills, they're best friends. They went to college together. Every managerial job that Terry Francona has had, Brad Mills has been his sidekick. That's a good job if you can get it, Mario.
That sliced back out of play. You know, when you hit your wagon to somebody that's going to get major league managing jobs, that could be a pretty good side gig, no doubt.
Good friend, somebody to bounce stuff off of all the time. Go to dinner with, talk to, somebody you trust.
Couple of U of A guys, Arizona Wildcats. The 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You said hit your wagon, huh?
Hit your wagon, baby. You getting a big league job? I'm going to hitch up. Bring me with you.
Omar Vizquel said when he was named the Venezuelan manager for the World Baseball Classic, he said his phone blew up the next day. Everybody wants jobs. Everybody wants jobs.
You need a pitching coach? How about a hitting coach?
Hitting coach, any of them.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of experience that is for Vizquel, because many feel that he is a big league manager in waiting.
I think he will assemble a really good staff. He'll probably have some guys on his staff that have managed in the major leagues that are Venezuelan.
And Lindor gets a walk, and that's going to load the bases now on 3 straight walks.
Brad ain't going to sit here and watch this all night. I mean, you can tell he's just stewing right now.
7 walks for Tigers pitching. Bullpen right now is quiet. Puck is going to have to get out of this jam. Kinsler coming over now to try and settle him down a bit.
Good move by Ian. It's a veteran move there. Settle the kid down.
Now the cleanup man, Napoli, who has 6 grand slams in his back pocket.
Even though Buck has walked 3 in this inning, if Napoli gets something that he likes, he'll be trying to hit his 7th grand slam of his career. Good breaking ball there for strike 1.
Santana, Kipnis, and Lindor all walking with 1 out. There's a foul back out of play. Napoli had a rip.
And if you want the strikeout, you've got to go upstairs with a fastball here at about 93, 94. Napoli will swing and miss at that pitch. But you've got to get it above the belt buckle.
In the air toward left field, sinking, and it's going to drop. Base hit. 1 run scores. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Santana comes in. It's an RBI for Napoli.
That is how good Napoli is going right now, and really a telltale sign of just how the Tigers have played this year against the Indians. Here's a fastball that is upstairs. It's out of the strike zone at 92 miles an hour. And look at Napoli get up there and not only put it in play, but he gets a base hit and an RBI off of it. Are you kidding me?
That ball's way out of the strike zone.
It's up at his neck.
Nine to 1 Cleveland. Santana comes around to score. Here is Jose Ramirez. Ramirez 1 for 2, single walk. He has scored a couple of times. He has driven 1 in. Still only 1 out. Flared out of play, and the count is 0-2.
The Indians have had 8 games this year where they've scored 9 runs or more. And 4 of the 8 games have come against Detroit.
Well, we mentioned their big run differential of +78, and they're a +8 in this game. Meanwhile, Carrasco being supported with plenty of offense tonight. Here's the 0-2. That is the 40th pitch thrown by Farmer since coming on. Dan Otero is warming up in the bullpen now for the Indians.
Otero has pitched some really good baseball out of that bullpen this year for the Tribe.
Little chopper back up the middle. Here comes Kinsler. He'll flip to second. They'll get 1 there. That's an RBI for Ramirez, his 2nd of the game. 10-1 ball game now for Cleveland as Kipnis scores.
About this time, June 17th, the Tribe were probably about 4 or 5 games in back of the Kansas City Royals, and now they are way up in front of Kansas City and the Tigers with this impressive stretch in the last number of weeks.
First in all of those categories with the exception of batting average. And now a 10-1 ball game as Lonnie Chisenhall steps in. 1st and 3rd. Strike called on Chisenhall, who's had a big day. 3 hits, including a couple of doubles and 2 RBIs. Swing and a miss at a pitch out of the strike zone. 0-2. Lonnie came in batting .310 against Tigers pitching. He's added to that. Now Farmer with the 0-2, and it rides inside. Eight of the 10 runs for the Indians scoring in the last 3 innings. They lead 10-1. Little pop-up left side of the infield. That'll be Iglesias to retire the side. Another big inning for the Tribe. They scored 3 more runs, and we go to the 7th. Lead at 10-1 as we go to the top of the 7th here at Progressive Field, and the Tribe will make a pitching change. That's going to be it for Carrasco. It's a wall side windows pitching change. Dan Otero coming on.
I told you he had been tremendous in their bullpen this year, pitching in his 29th game here this evening. 32 innings. The ERA is 1.41. 29 strikeouts for Dan, and he's only walked 7.
So 6 innings of work tonight for Carlos Carrasco. He gave up an RBI single to Victor Martinez in the 6th, the only run the Tigers have scored. Steven Moya leads it off. Moya is 0 for 1 in this game, a strikeout and a walk. And now 2 out of 5 in this series with a home run. There's a strike on the outside corner about knee high. Otero is a native of Miami, Florida, lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. Another strike. 1-2.
Otero has all 4 pitches. He's got a fastball, he's got a slider, he's got the curveball, and the changeup.
That one dives low as Moya laid off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Moya, Venevilos, and then McCann here in the 7th. Here's the 2-2, and he got him. Strike 3. Moya caught looking. 6 strikeouts now for Cleveland pitching tonight. That'll bring up Mike Aviles. Aviles on base twice. Single, walk. Tigers probably had their best chance in the 5th inning. They were down just 4-0. Aviles drew a walk. So did Moya. 2 on, nobody out, but they couldn't score against Carrasco. Double play ended that inning. Now 1-2 on Aviles. These 2 ball clubs will close it out tomorrow. It's going to be a noon game here in Cleveland, and the Tigers will fly to Canada. They'll take on the Blue Jays in Toronto for the weekend. Little chopper to the right side. Fielding there is Napoli. 2 gone. And now James McCann. Only 3 Tigers hits in this game tonight. 2 of them came in the 2nd. Singles by Aviles and Upton. And the RBI single by Victor, the other hit.
And it really doesn't get any easier for the Tigers tomorrow. And they're going up against Tomlin, who is 9-1 on the season.
Every single night the Indians rolled out somebody that's had a lot of success in their rotation.
Last year when the Kansas City Royals played in the World Series against the New York Mets, everybody was talking about how good that Mets rotation was. And the Kansas City Royals said, wait a minute now. We've just seen the Cleveland Indians 19 times, and there's no way you can tell me that these guys are that much better than the Tribe.
But it also seems, Rod, like, and there's Corey Kluber, that, you know, guys like Salazar and Carrasco have kind of taken it up to the next level now.
They've grown up. Tigers used to have their way against Salazar and Kluber and also Carrasco. Look at the numbers early in those guys' careers. They used to try to overpower the Tigers with fastballs, but those kids have learned how to pitch. Bauer has learned how to pitch. They've started to throw fastballs in breaking ball counts. They've really started to crowd Miguel inside with good hard fastballs this year. They've got a talented staff.
Ooh, just off the plate there. 2-2 on McCann.
As a matter of fact, it's been a while since you've seen a staff this talented, and led by Mickey Callaway.
And he got him, strike 3. McCann is caught looking. 7 strikeouts for the Indian staff tonight. Tigers go 1-2-3. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. In favor of the Indians. They're trying to make it 2 straight in this series, and now Romine will move to second base and Saltalamacchia will go to first, so they'll get Kinsler off his feet for the rest of the night. In the meantime, Buck Farmer goes back out there as the Indians try and make it 11 straight against the Tigers, and they are in command here tonight. Rajai Davis leads it off. Davis, Naquin, and Gomes, the bottom 3 facing Farmer. The 0-1 pitch, a bouncing ball, base hit, right field. And the beat goes on for the Indians.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Rajai Davis already with more homers this year and RBIs than he had all of last year. Got his team on the board early. And then you have Chisenhall. He has had an outstanding game so far. 3 hits in the contest for Chisenhall. Lindor, well, he's been wearing the Tigers out all season long. That ball probably should have been caught. Chisenhall gets it done again with a double. And then you've got Miguel Cabrera, controversial play. Mickey said he fouled it off. They did not give Miggy the call. Miggy balked at it. He was kicked out of the game. And the Cleveland Indians weren't done there. They came back and hit another home run in the 6th inning. That would be Naquin.
And Naquin is up there right now after the leadoff single by Davis.
Not a lot of Tigers highlights in that particular Comerica Bank game summary.
Well, that kind of happens when you have only 3 hits.
Tigers came in here playing so well after sweeping the Tampa Bay Rays. I know Tampa's not a good team per se, but yet the way that they won a couple of those games down there had you encouraged that they would come in here and play better.
They easily could have taken 3 out of 4 in that series, Rod, and given away that Sunday game. They had 3 wins, but they were able to grind out a win on Sunday.
Felt good about themselves coming here. This Indians team was beat up. They had played 29 innings of baseball in the 24 hours prior to the Tigers showing up.
Naquin had the home run in the 6th inning. He also drove in a run with a ground out in the 2nd.
And now there's a lot of talk around Cleveland about who they're going to add to their roster come trade deadline. Will it be a reliever, or will it be another bat, or will it be Michael Brantley coming back?
Yeah, Brantley, as you saw Mark Lowe warming up. Brantley supposedly was taking batting practice today. He's had that shoulder issue and then developed some tendonitis in his bicep, and there's Brantley. So they're waiting for him to come back, and that's a pretty good bat.
That's an impact bat if they get him back and he's producing the way that he's capable of producing.
Brantley to me seems like one of those guys that, you know, could miss a lot of time, which he has, and just pick up where he left off.
And they also have help now for Brantley. I mean, because they have Uribe, who's having a decent year, Rajai Davis having a good year, Napoli having a good year, Santana playing better. So there's not going to be that pressure on Brantley that it has been the last couple of years to carry the team.
Strikeout of Naquin. And bring up Yan Gomes. Gomes is 0 for 3 in this game. 10-1. The Indians have the lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Pulled foul. Farmer had to come on for the starter Sanchez in the 5th inning. He's been on since, but he's had a couple of rocky innings. And the Indians are trying to win their 13th consecutive home game. He just came off a 14-game winning streak overall that was snapped in Toronto over the weekend. Ground ball to third, should be 2. Here's the relay from Romine. It is a double play. And that'll go 5-4-3 to end the 7th inning. You're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
to the game, and I asked him to reflect on that walk-off grand slam that he hit against Oakland when he was a Tiger a few years ago, and hitting for the cycle in Toronto on Saturday. I asked him which one gave him more satisfaction. He said, no doubt about it, it was the walk-off grand slam. When you get the Gatorade bath, you help your team win, it comes at home, you can't top it. So it takes something special to top a cycle, but I guess a walk-off grand slam did the trick for Rajai Davis. He won't have either of those feats here tonight, but he does have a couple of hits, a double, a single, and a couple of stakes as the Tribe are running away with this one, guys.
Yeah, Trevi's been awfully good and has been a great pickup for the Indians as Mike Clevenger comes in now for the Tribe.
And 13 starts for Clevenger down in Columbus. Outstanding numbers, 8-0 with a 2.70 ERA, 76 strikeouts, 28 base on balls. Needs a haircut too.
And what kind of hair is that?
That's the show hair.
It's the show hair. I love that term. Here's Iglesias to get things rolling here in the 8th. Tigers down 10-1. They have only 3 hits. Clevenger's first one is at the knees, a strike. Clevenger, born in Jacksonville, Florida, still lives there. Goes 6'4", 210. There's another strike in the outer edge.
He's a starter, so as you can imagine, he has all 4 pitches. The Clevenger fastball will get up to about 93, top out at 94 on occasion. He also has a slider, a curveball, and he loves his changeup.
That one missed inside, 1-2. He was acquired from the Dodgers in August of 2014 for Vinny Pistano. Whistled foul, back out of play. Double play ball and a pop-up tonight for Iglesias. Kinsler will follow. No, he won't actually, because he's out of the game, isn't he? Kinsler would have followed. Saltalamacchia now batting in his spot. Then Maben. Breaking ball is fouled away. Mike Clevenger, originally drafted by the Angels in 2011. Here's the 1-2, and it's lifted in the air. Shallow left field. Lindor, long run. He'll get there. One away. Time for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. What's going on around the league? Here are some guys that, well, a couple of guys that are going well and one that's not. Wade Davis placed on the 15-day disabled list with a right forearm strain.
And meanwhile, somehow Freddie Freeman's still able to do some damage, even though he has no protection whatsoever in that lineup, but still getting lots of pitches to hit. And Corey Seager, a 17-game hit streak, longest by a Los Angeles Dodger rookie since
Since who, Rod?
I forget. They pulled it on me.
I know.
I'm not sure I could have pronounced it anyway.
Well, they need to put it back up.
Sudakis, I think it said.
Here's Saltalamacchia, speaking of hard to pronounce. Salty's first at bat in the game. Fouled back out of play. All right, here we go.
Sudakis. Bill Sudakis back in 1969.
Okay. I'll go with that. Now the 0-2 pitch coming home to Saltalamacchia. 1-2.
Man, you're starting to see so many kids these days, and it doesn't matter whether it's guys that come from the minor leagues to the big leagues or guys that are established in the big leagues. These real simple windups, just one little step back and not a lot of movement. I think it helps a lot of guys be a little bit more efficient with their strike throwing.
Do you think it's being taught that way, or are guys just doing that on their own?
I think a lot of pitching coaches are adapting this theory, especially if they have a guy that has command issues. Anything that you can do to simplify the delivery to make sure that you get the direct line between the shoulder and the hip and that front foot on that direct line toward home plate, it's a win-win.
Saltalamacchia got himself a juicy fastball there and fouled it back. 3-2 the count stays. Cameron Maybin waiting on deck. And again, the 3-2. He'll take his walk. 1 on, 1 out. Well, there's Ian Kinsler, who has the rest of the night off, but Tigers fans have to get him to the All-Star game.
So you only get a couple of days to vote, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. The final roster spot to be determined by the fans, and the voting ends July the 8th, which is, what, 3 days away at 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, the All-Star game, Rod, is on July 12th.
And it's on Fox.
It is. Here's Cameron Maybin bouncing one up the middle indoor, tags the bag 1, and a double play. 6-3 on the double play. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th.
Of the game. And what happened here last half inning, I think the phones, Mario, stopped working, and Justin Verlander in between innings had to run out to the bullpen and make the call to load to get back up to get ready to come into the game.
So that's legitimately the call to the game.
How about that, man? They done cut off the phone service here too at Progressive Field. Ain't nothing going right here.
I think they cut it off.
They cut the phone off, man.
Oh man, Verlander had to go out there. Of all guys, JV runs out there and tells Mark Lowe to warm up again, and now Lowe is in the game.
Mark Lowe encouraging the last couple of times out there. Obviously, he has not pitched the way that he is capable of pitching, and Mark would be the first to tell you that. But his last couple of outings, the fastball has been firm. It's been up to 94, 95, and he's making some progress.
So Verlander's back in the dugout.
Surprised Verdon sending one of them rookies out there to the bullpen like Michael Fulmer or somebody.
That's what I'm saying. Of all guys, JV has to run out there.
He's got the most service time.
Here's Santana. Drilled in the air to deep left center field. That ball is up and that ball is gone.
Well, so much for that progress.
Santana hits his 19th.
Santana, man, he has worn us out, really. I mean, if you look at historically what he has done against Tigers pitching since he's come to the big leagues, his batting average not real high, but his contact to damage ratio has been off the chain. A lot of home runs that he's on pace for this year.
Well, he's on pace for 36. That is his 3rd already that he's hit against the Tigers, and his 17th career against Tigers pitching.
And most of them in that leadoff spot.
11-1 Indians. Kipnis looks at a strike. All Tribe tonight. That is their 10th hit as well to go with their 11 runs. Pulled foul right back for the Tiger dugout. That one almost got Trev.
Did it really?
Trev, you all right?
Well, be careful down there, Trev.
See, Trev's got cat-like instincts and reflexes.
My head's on a swivel, boys.
How close was it? How close was it?
3 feet.
Didn't Keating almost get hit here a couple of years ago, Ron?
Keating got hit here. He didn't almost get hit. He got hit.
I think I'm a little more agile.
Oh.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, Trevor.
Just saying.
No balls, two strikes on
He hide behind that pole, though, isn't he?
I'm a little more agile, it says. Here's the 0-2, and it's fouled back out of play. Kipnis with a couple of runs scored. He has not had a hit tonight, but he's walked and reached on a fielder's choice. Indians have scored in 4 of the last 5 innings. Here's the 0-2.
And a lot of the numbers that the Indians have put up here tonight have been crooked numbers. 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 3 in the 6th.
Big night for Rajai Davis. Big night for a lot of Indians.
Big year already for Rajai Davis.
Oh boy, that ball's hit well, and it's going to go over the head of Steven Moya. Kipnis on his way to his 2nd, and he has himself a double.
They're trying to put another crooked run on the board in this inning.
Fans, you can follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video, highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Here's Francisco Lindor. Double and a walk tonight for Lindor, plus an RBI. Still nobody out here in the 8th. In the air to right field, Moya. 1 gone. I'll bring up Mike Napoli. RBI single in the 6th. He's also walked twice. Walk's an issue tonight for Tigers pitching. They walked 7 batters in this game. And all but 2 came around to score. Swing and a miss. He tried to hold up, and he went around 0-1. Tigers tomorrow turn to Michael Fulmer in the series finale. Meanwhile, these Indians are just 3 outs away from going 11-0 against the Tigers this year.
Must-see TV tomorrow with Fulmer on the mound. In his last 8 starts, he has not given up more than 1 run in any of those starts. He's in historic territory in that regard. Only a handful of guys can boast that have ever played the game of baseball. 8 straight starts, 1 earned run or less in each start. Isn't that crazy?
I really thought he had an opportunity to make the All-Star team this year. Didn't get it though. The 0-2 is outside.
he could be one of those guys that get added in late. You know, I know Brad and those guys probably don't want him to make the All-Star team, but Fulmer could be one of those guys that gets added in. You know how the pitching staffs are as they get to that last week. Some guys will pitch, guys will be ineligible for the All-Star game.
It doesn't necessarily take an injury.
And the world needs to see Michael Fulmer too.
A little bit outside, and the count now is 2 balls, 2 strikes on Mike Napoli. Lowe comes on, gives up the homer to Santana, the double to Kipnis, and a line out by Lindor. Full count, 3-2. Tigers tonight have had 13 3-ball counts. And we told you all the walks they've piled up. That's going to be a tough play. McCann, no play. I won't say this often, but Napoli with an infield single.
How about Napoli his last time up? He got a base hit on the ball that was up around his neck and an RBI. And then this time up, is the ball at the bottom of the strike zone. He hits it about 17 feet from home plate, swinging bunt single.
That is the 12th hit of the game now for the Indians, and Lowe will face Jose Ramirez. Couple of RBIs tonight for Ramirez, couple of runs scored. Strike 1 on Ramirez. Here's the 0-1. Popped up. Let's see if Aviles has room. He appears to have some room and makes the catch up against the railing. 2 gone. Here's some of the Rookie of the Year candidates. I know it's still very early, but as we head toward the All-Star break, 3 guys that really stick out, 2 of them in this series.
Well, we've seen Nate Quinn. He's gotten busy here tonight. 18 extra base hits. He's got an OPS that's over 900 and a really good average. The kid Mazzaro, he's legit. He's a man-child. 11 homers, 35 driven in. And we've told you how good Michael Fulmer has been. Or you've seen how good Michael Fulmer has been.
Chisenhall now with 2 outs.
With all the starts that Michael Fulmer has had since coming to the big leagues, do you think tomorrow will be in his mind his biggest, trying to snap the 11-game winning streak and trying to pitch a good game for his team headed down to Toronto?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think there's a little extra riding on the start tomorrow because this streak now is getting out of control.
He threw the ball for me in that Tampa game just 4 days ago, as well as I think I've seen him. I mean, he was overpowering with the fastball, and the changeup was hard, and it was darting, and it was nasty. And the slider's a plus pitch for Fulmer anyway.
And he has pitched here in Cleveland. That was back on May the 5th, and he went 5 innings, allowed 10 hits and 5 runs. So that was one of the few poor starts that he had.
He went on that run right after that start, didn't he?
A little bit, couple starts after that.
Couple after that Tampa game.
Yeah. When he struck out 11, that really was the start of his big role.
Yep, that was his coming out party.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Chisenhall. Line drive to right field, base hit. They're going to try and get another run in. Moya's throw cut off. It's an RBI single for Lonnie Chisenhall, who's put together a 4-hit night. Kipnis comes in to score. That'll make it 12-1 Cleveland. Now Rajai Davis. Thirteen hits now for the Indians. Breaking ball, strike one. Well, there are subplots to every ball game, and one of them tonight here has to be the outing from Mark Lowe, because Rod, as you mentioned, he seemed to make a little bit of some strides in his last outing. Well, that one's going to carry him off of Lowe right to the first baseman. Salty flips, and he's out at first base.
That's going to hurt too. They earned that out.
That'll be it as we go to the ninth inning. All Cleveland tonight, 12-1. Tonight, Miguel Cabrera ejected in the sixth inning in this ball game. Actually fouled the ball off his shin. They said that he didn't, and Miggy was thrown out after arguing. Cleveland offense, fourth game this season, Rod, with 12 or more runs.
And it was an offense when the season began. There were a lot of people that were out there that did not feel like they had enough offense to win the Central, but apparently they do.
So here we go in the ninth inning as Romine leads it off. It'll be Romine, Martinez, and then Upton. 12-1, Indians have the lead. Clevenger back out there for his second inning of work, and he fires a strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouled back 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's fouled back out of play. Little chopper slowly to the right side. It's going to be cut off, but nobody covering. And he is out at first base. Clevenger sliding to make the play, and Romine is just nipped at the wire.
Well, Clevenger had to make the play because Napoli at first base, he also went for the ball. So once Clevenger picked it up, he looked and flipped it to first, but there was nobody there. So a quick slide, and he also tripped Romine. Romine upset at being tripped by Clevenger.
The only way Clevenger was going to make that play was to slide. It was bang bang. One gone. Here is Victor Martinez. V-Mart with an RBI single, providing the Tigers' only run tonight. That was back in the 6th. Ball 1 to Martinez. 3 hits tonight for the Tigers. That's it, all of them singles. Two and 0 on Victor. Some of the long faces for the Tigers tonight as they trail 13-1 or 12-1, out hit 13-3.
Yeah, you could tell that they're not happy about the way this one has gone.
3-0 on Victor, and he'll take a strike. Infield playing the shift as they normally do, and Martinez passed left-handed. And he lost him, ball 4. That'll be a 1-out walk. Well, Fox Sports Detroit's University Days rolls right along this summer. Central Michigan University at Comerica Park on July 15th. Buy a special ticket package to the Tigers-Royals game and get a Tigers baseball cap in CMU colors. To buy tickets or to get more information, visit tigers.com/special events. One away now for Justin Upton. Upton is 1 for 3. One of the 3 Tigers hits. The Tigers had singles by Upton and Aviles in the second, but Carrasco slammed the door, and Carrasco tonight was very much like he was the first time the Tigers faced him.
We talked about it at the beginning of the show today. They've got a lot of really good pitchers. Salazar, Kluber, Bauer. But Carrasco might have the best stuff. He might be the best of the 3 that I mentioned. Little front door breaking ball there by Clevenger. He started that ball right at Jay Up.
Pulled to left field. It is hooking foul. Upton just got in front of that one. Otherwise, he had himself a 2-run homer. Oh, 0-2 on Justin Upton. Bender got away, and that'll advance the runner as Martinez goes to second. He snapped that one off in the dirt. Wild pitch. That'll bring Gomes out to the mound and have a chat with Clevenger.
You don't know who the umpire is, right? You don't know replay umpire, right? I think it gets texted. Oh.
Once again, Clevenger staying away, but now the count levels at 2s. He came on in the 8th inning, gave up a walk, but got a double play ball. That one blocked by Gomes, and now 3-2. Indians have scored tonight in every inning but 3 of them. They've had a couple of 3-run innings, and they've been in command most of the night. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball, foul. That almost clipped Tim Timmons down at first base.
It's been a lengthy at bat for Justin Upton. He's fouling off everything, literally everything that Clevenger's thrown up there. Not going down without a fight.
Ninth pitch of this at bat coming up to Justin Upton. Back up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Martinez will stop at third base. So the Tigers now have 2 on with 1 out here in the ninth.
Let's take a look at the big boys, big play of the game. Tyler Naquin homered in the 6th inning. It was his 7th home run of the season. He went to the bottom of the strike zone and got a breaking ball and hit it about 400 feet from home plate.
Here are the numbers for Naquin, the June Rookie of the Month. He hit .338 last month with 6 home runs. Here is Steven Moya. Strike 1 to Moya. Steven 0 for 2, couple strikeouts and a walk.
And Clevenger has thrown 36 pitches since coming into the game last inning, I should say, and 15 of the 36 have missed the strike zone.
One and 2 on Moya. Steven homered to the ball game yesterday, but it's been held hitless in this one. And Clevenger trying to take care of him. 1 and 2 the count. Moya will not go down without a fight, so the pitch count continues to climb on Clevenger.
And more than likely, Moya has seen Clevenger down in the minor leagues. And Clevenger was pitching for Columbus, and of course Moya playing for Toledo.
And he got him, strike 3. Moya is called out on strikes, 2 away.
Moya doesn't agree with the call, but at least with the naked eye, it looked like that was a strike, and most definitely probably too close to take with 2 strikes.
So with 2 outs now, here is Mike Aviles, the Tigers' last chance here tonight. 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. And Aviles sends a ground ball up the middle, should do it. Kipnis will tag the bag for the out. And the Indians do it again. They are still, or the Tigers are still winless against the Indians this year.
And the Indians have won 13 straight games right here at Progressive Field.
2 amazing stretches. Cleveland gains another game on the Tigers, up 7.5 now in the Central. 12-1 your final. We'll be back.